Good evening, everybody. Let's make sure we're working. Do we hear music? Do we hear me? Are we lagging? I haven't done this in so long. How are we looking? How are we sounding? Then I'll do all the greetings and everything. Sound good? No lag? Take me to your leader. We'll see about that. Let's see, is chat working on the screen? Chat is working on the screen. Okay, okay. Okay. Cool. Wow. We haven't done this in so long. Hi, everybody. Oh my god, when was the last time we did something? It has to have been like before. Like, here, I'm gonna go to the channel and check. Please don't have an autoplay video. Thank goodness. Okay. I think the last time I did something, last time we uploaded was a year ago. And then last time we streamed was 7 months ago. So like right before the daughter was born. Oh my goodness. Wow. Let's get some hellos out of the way because it's been a minute. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Who do we got here? Who do we got? Flame Master. Howdy. Agent MM. Luis. Oh my goodness. It's so nostalgic seeing these names. Ginger Steve. Manic is here. Zukra. Zurka. Z. I'm going to call you Z. Knucklebone of Fickle Fortune. Wow, that's a nostalgic name. Is it Kalen the Alien? Did I say that one right? Oh my goodness gracious. How you doing, man? Update us. I think it is time for an update. I don't know when the last time you guys had an update that wasn't like formally like on a stream, you know? Oh my goodness. Trying to play Repo and chat at the same time. Good luck. I've seen clips of the game. It looks like a blast. I've been missing some lethal company myself as of late. I can't stay for long, unfortunately. I'm currently sitting in the waiting for a work medical. Oh, well, I appreciate you stopping by, Knucklebone. Yeah, okay, yeah, so let's start with the first update. Had a baby, or I didn't have the baby, the wife had the baby, but we have a daughter, so that's been pretty cool. She entered our lives right at the tail end of November, and it has been a blast. A lot of life changes happened, so obviously everything that comes along with that. I went from being an assistant manager at one movie theater to a general manager of another movie theater. So that's been taking a lot. Honestly, that's been taking more time away from this than the kid has. Full transparency. I got to take on the GM role for this not new theater, but like for this theater. Part of a chain I'd never worked for prior to that. It's a place that has a lot of potential, is is in the middle of a lot of different fixes and a lot of different kinds of categories, but it's in a blast. I mean, it has been a blast. It's now getting to a point where we can kind of start getting more stable schedules, really knock out a lot of those like action items on the to-do list. There's a mountain of to-do lists for that place, but it's been good. It's been good. It feels good to have, knock on wood, a mostly consistent schedule now, and not I've scheduled myself for this much of the week, but it ends up being this much of the week. Let's catch up on chat for a second. I feel like I'm talking too much. Oh man, call me Zook. Zook it is. You baby wolves of the night, how you doing? Dinky's here. I'm headed to bed now, but hope you have a good stream and baby's doing well. Thank you, Dinky. Thank you, thank you. Daughters are nice. I've got 2 and they're amazing. Yeah, she's been pretty good. I will say it's been a shock. I was kind of, you know, bracing myself for whatever, you know, because you never know what kind of personality, what kind of troubles, what kind of blessings are going to come with the baby. And so far, she has been a textbook baby. Like, pretty, like, it's easy to find a solution for her. You can kind of refer to either the hospital's many medical guides they give you or many of the books that they recommend. And there's a solution. She's been pretty chill. I mean, who knows? That could change in the toddler years for sure. But she doesn't really whine a whole lot. She doesn't super complain. She got herself on a natural sleep schedule pretty fast, which has been a huge blessing for Yasmin and I. So we can actually get some sleep. We all kind of sleep at the same time, which is awesome. Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been super cool. Any good movies you watch at them? Any good movies like from the movie theater? Recently, Obsession. That one's pretty great. I mean, I'm probably preaching to a choir on that one, but Obsession was awesome. I've seen a good chunk of The Mandalorian and Grogu just from like the projector booth windows. It's fine. I don't hate what I've seen. I don't love what I've seen. It's just fine. Just inoffensive. It just kind of exists. Michael has some pretty mesmerizing performances in it, but it's mainly a concert movie. It kind of had to be after the whole behind the scenes kind of drama with it, but people love it. It's doing well. It's bringing people off the couch and back to movie theaters, which is awesome. Project Hail Mary, favorite movie of the year so far. I've heard from a few people who've seen The Sheep Detectives that is actually the best movie of the year, which sounds crazy, but enough people are saying it to make me go like, is this a Paddington 2 situation? So I do want to see that. Mario. I wasn't a fan of the first movie. I wasn't a fan of this one. So there's that. I lurk a lot, can't watch streams due to my schedule. What about Hoppers, the one about the beaver? I didn't see much of it. I saw a few scenes, and from what I saw, it was cute. It seems like it's unfortunately gonna fall into those category of Disney movies from like early 2000s, kind of like your Chicken Littles, Meet the Robinsons, Bolts, where like it came out. There's probably people who are gonna grow up and like those movies, but ultimately just kind of forgotten in Disney fandom. So it seems fine. Haven't seen it all the way through, so who knows? Maybe it's actually great, but haven't actually seen it all the way through. Mario is pretty good. Yeah, I bet. I've wanted to watch Sheep Detectives. I've heard fantastic things about it. I want to see it. Are the rooms full of attendance for the Mandalorian movie? I don't know about other theaters. My theater, no, not at all. My theater is a little unique from other ones I've worked at in the past. It's in a much more upscale part of the city. Its main demographic is like 20 to 30-year-olds, singles and couples. And unlike most movie theaters, I would say most of our attendance is like 75% female, 25% male. So that skews a lot of the audiences for the usual movies that do well with like traditionally like, you know, male audiences. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm not used to the specifics of this kind of movie theater and that kind of attendance. So movies that have done well for this theater this year have been, you know, Wuthering Heights, You, Me, and Tuscany, Reminders of Him, Project Hail Mary. So if it leans more towards a female audience, or it's a movie that hits all of the quadrants of audience, then it does well. But your movies so far, like Mortal Kombat, Mandalorian, and Grogu, they haven't done super well. Indie movies also don't super do well there. Horror movies seem to do okay. What are some movies coming out soon? Like He-Man, or Masters of the Universe. I'm so pumped for that movie. I think if we do end up getting that movie, it's gonna bomb. It makes me sad, but that's probably what's gonna happen. But a movie like Toy Story probably is gonna do well because that's, you know, it hits all 4 of the quadrants and everything. Man, you got me started on movies now. Now this is gonna take over the whole stream if I keep going. I did like Hoppers, nothing amazing, but fun. Okay, that's good to hear. Had time for Rolling Bones with friends? A few times. We'll actually get into that a little bit, because I'm so curious to hear DC20 thoughts. Hey camera, stay in focus. What are we doing, bud? Stay in focus. Stay in focus. Okay. Is that the Matthew Gonzalez? Oh my god. How you doing, bud? Hope you're doing well. I thought you were going to say drive-in movie theater. Ooh, drive-in movie theater. That would be fun to work at. I can already see what some of the headaches would be working at a drive-in, but that sounds like a lot of fun. What about Obsession? I haven't been able to stop thinking about it, and my theater was freaking out. Yeah, I've basically seen the movie the whole way through. I really, really enjoy what I've seen, and I really enjoy walking into the auditorium or opening the booth window and listening to the audience's reaction to those particular moments in the movie. It's a blast. It's a blast. Oh my gosh. Hey, camera, what are we doing here? What are we doing? What's happening with your focus, bro? It wants to focus on, is it the bottle? What about me? How about now? Are we doing good? Okay. Yeah, I really enjoy seeing the audience reaction to Obsession. In particular, when I have a minute to just kind of observe and see those key scenes where the freakouts usually happen. I really love, I'm blanking on the director's name. Is it Curry Baker? Is that his name? I love their shorts that they do for like TikTok and YouTube. Their little sketches. But he had an interesting quote that came out before the movie where he was like trying to coin the term modern jump scare. And his definition of it was like, it's not a thing that just pops up suddenly, whether that's like a visual or a sound, and it makes you scared. His version of the modern jump scare, which is what he was trying to accomplish with this movie, was watching a scene, whether that be like 30 seconds or 5 minutes, whatever the scene, and at the end of that, you feeling uncomfortable and saying to yourself, like, I didn't like that. That happens a lot in that movie, and it's so fun to see people not necessarily like scared watching the movie, but they're watching it in, like, you know, kind of like curling up in their seat, like, it's awesome. I love it. I'm obsessed. And I mean, yeah. Okay. Anyways, I tend to only go Tuesdays on discount nights with prices. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. There's like a constant back and forth between the theater exhibition industry and the studios. Studios want the theaters to lower the prices. Theaters would love to lower the prices, but would also like for the studios to take less cuts of the ticket price and also leave movies in theaters longer. So it's like a back and forth tug of war. I get it, yeah. That's why I like the subscription programs, like AMC A-List, Regal Unlimited. The Cinemark one is not very good. It's good for concessions discounts. It's not good for monthly like movies, but yeah, I like those subscription models a lot. I only saw Mario and Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. The cast and crew were there for the screening and a Q&A. Ooh, that sounds cool. I didn't get to catch that one. I heard good things though. There's a penguin in the background. Foreshadow. Penguin born? Oh. That's awesome. What a great way to see audiences freak out like that. Glad to hear you're doing well. Just working hard on the dreams. How have you been? Tired, burnt out, exhausted, beat up. But things that keep me going. Faith, number 1. Number 2, the wife. Number 3, the Superman soundtrack from last year's Superman movie. And number 4, Captain America saying, "I can do this all day." Oh, and if there's a 5th one, it's Ted Lasso's Believe banner. Those things are currently keeping me going. Let's see. I thought the bottle was more human than you, or it thought. You know, it may be. Are you a Trekkie? Yes and no. I wouldn't say I'm a Trekkie. I think Trekkies are way more into it than I am. But I do really enjoy Star Trek. It is a comfort show that I throw on when I'm doing things. In particular, the original series. I am finally watching The Next Generation. I've been trying to watch that show since middle school, and all the streaming services combine the first 2 technically pilot episodes, like part 1 and part 2, the ones with Q, into one giant episode. And I never could get past that episode. Like, I would finish it and be like, this show is taxing to watch. I don't feel like it. But I'm finally watching The Next Generation. I'm really enjoying it. And I've actually been talking with one of the players at the table. I always throw the idea around, but like, one day I'm going to do it. I want to do a Star Trek campaign. I want to get Star Trek Adventures 2nd edition. I want to run Star Trek kind of episodes at the table. But I feel like you need a particular kind of player base to do something like that. But I would love to. So yes, I like Star Trek. I'm getting into Star Trek. So like before currently watching The Next Generation, I'd rewatched the original series countless times. I've seen all the movies. I really like Strange New Worlds. Not the last season so much. It got a little bleh. Discovery started okay, and then really went downhill. Not gonna try with... I think I stopped watching after season 2 of Discovery. Not gonna try with that Sector whatever movie. Not gonna try Starfleet Academy. Oh, I like Enterprise. I keep forgetting Enterprise exists. I've seen Enterprise too. I like that one. Are you sure you want to bleed into the Dungeon Coach live stream? Is there a Dungeon Coach live stream today? I thought those were Tuesdays. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Yeah, it's scheduled for tomorrow. What you mean? Or is there a different live stream tonight? I only see one for tomorrow for Coach. I can't wait to start talking DC20. I might have to start pivoting that. We'll answer if there's questions. Let's see. Let's go over a few more chats and then let's pivot a little bit. Jaden is here. What's up, dude? Superman soundtrack is goated. Sorry you've been burned out. Glad you're freaking crushing it. Hope you can relax soon. Please watch Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I need to watch the other ones because I didn't know that it was a thing until this one came out. And everyone was like, oh yeah, there's like I guess like another movie or maybe 2 other movies. So I have to watch those, but I've heard they're great. Not gonna lie, first season is rough, then it gets so much better. I've heard season 3 is where like next gen really finds its stride. Are you getting back to DC20 content? What's up, T-Dog? You know what? Let's get into it. Oh, Lower Decks. I did watch Lower Decks. That one was pretty funny. Okay. This stream is going till tomorrow night. Oh God. It can't. I have work tomorrow. All right. So DC20. Let's go ahead and pivot, shall we? Pivot! Brought to you not by this place. Also, I tried to find my Warner Brothers hat to match the thumbnail. I just had to use a stock thumbnail from photos I took last year. I really should take more, but I don't have a office or studio now. Which, by the way, before we continue and talk about DC20, we have to say a huge thank you to my wife, Yasmin, who once I started getting on this schedule, really encouraged, like, hey, do something video related, whether it's streaming, whether it's making a video, do some kind of thing that's a hobby, because I love movie theaters. I love doing things with video. One is now my full-time job. I need some kind of hobby. Boom. So huge thank you to her. So this stream would not exist without her. She said, take time out of Monday nights, 2 or 3 hours, just do that. Uh-oh. Hold up, work is calling. We will be right back. I saw that. Who said it? Who said dude needs to update the Patreon list? I agree. I agree. That's also part of being a GM now. If the theater calls, I have to answer. Because you never know what's going on there. Okay. So, let's get into DC20. We have so much to catch up on. Understatement of the stream, perhaps. Ah, man. The Discovery Lower Decks crossover. I can't do more Discovery. I felt like I was being very mean the more that I started watching that show. Like, I was watching that and I was like, am I a problem? I don't think I'm the problem, but like maybe. I don't know. Alright. So DC20. Let's talk about where I left off on DC20. And then we'll kind of catch up with where it's at today. So looking back at the channel, the Swordplay and Sorcery channel, I haven't made a DC20 like dedicated video of some kind in a year. You know, I started making DC20 mainly content because I love the game, I love the system, and it's fantastic. I love it. I love the game. You know, the updates started happening, and as I start progressing through the rules in these videos, I start doing, like, you know, attack and defense, checks and saves, death and health, that sort of thing. You know, the game updates, the game changes, and it's like, okay, I'm eventually gonna have to like go back, kind of tweak on some of these things, but I mean, it's not gonna be like anything major. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. We filmed an actual play, and by the time we were done editing the actual play, we had already updated the game twice. So the actual play was out of date. We were supposed to film 4 episodes of Chains of Leventria. So 2 on one weekend, 2 on another weekend. We had to cut the streaming, the recording sessions short. I can't remember why, but we had to. And then we just never got around to the other one because, you know, the game updated and we had like a little internal like conversation, like myself and the players, like, hey, do we just continue with the current rule set? And then I make a disclaimer like, hey, this is the rule set we're using. What do we do? So I just haven't made anything since that Chains of Leventria one-shot. And it's okay. It's an okay one-shot. I find it really fascinating. You know, there's actually a really great TTRPG channel, Bonus Reaction. And he hit the nail on the head, the exact same thing that I'm thinking. I'm a big fan of record yourself GMing a game, because it teaches you so much about yourself. Like, you don't have to make it a whole production or anything crazy, but like, you learn so much about yourself, what you do well, what you don't do well, the tics of your players and things like that, by seeing it all play out. It's hard to really take notice of that in the middle of the game. So being able to like go back and see all that, huge learning opportunity. I encourage everyone to try it at least once. You don't have to publish it. Just record a game and take notes. It's awesome. So yeah. So I stopped the videos for a little bit because I was like, oh, I'm getting way behind on DC20. There's a lot of really big changes with big implications. I'm just going to kind of wait. So then we continued with live streams. You know, we did the monster streams where we were doing the monster manual for a little while. We were also doing viewer suggested monsters. I really miss monster streams so much. They were such a blast to do. And, you know, a wonderful person in the community. Oh my God, I'm blanking. Let me go to Discord real quick. I don't want to miscredit. It wasn't Toother. Was it? Who was it? Someone completed what I started. And I'm so thankful they did, because they finished the 5e, or sorry, now D&D calls it 5.5 edition, what everyone was trying to call it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this individual finished converting every single monster from that monster manual. They did what I was trying to do. They actually completed it. It's awesome. Someone actually got to do it. It was me. It was Ginger Steve. That's right. I saw the message like a week or two ago, or like whenever you first sent it in the Discord, and I was like, oh my god, it's been so long that someone else finished the job. So huge credit to Ginger Steve, Ninja Steve. I know, I alternate between the names too. Yeah. So I did the monster streams, and then we did like, some discussion streams where we just kind of talked about like, yo, what's going on with the game. Then we had another stream, apparently 9 months ago, also in this setup, where, we talked about like, oh my god, it's been a minute. We did a session planning stream. We did a let's sort some things out, where I talked about like, hey, I feel like I don't have any like good ideas at the moment. And now here we are with yet another stream saying, hey guys, it's been a minute, let's catch up. So, the last version of DC20 that I've actually played, like with my players at a table, 9.5. 9.5. I've occasionally kept up. Like, I've occasionally, like, caught a coach stream, like, at the tail end or the very beginning. Then I have to, like, do whatever else I was doing at the moment. I occasionally catch someone else's DC20 video, whether it's like Bardic Aggravation or Slow You Roll or whoever, right? T-Dog. But like, I've been pretty disconnected from that game. And also my sessions. We kind of would play a session of DC20 and then as a table, not get frustrated, but it wasn't as enjoyable because we would be like, oh wait, we have to do it like this now. Oh, this changed, so we're doing it like this now. So we started replacing our TTRPG nights with more board game nights, and we started having a blast with those. So we just did more. So yeah, I'm in an interesting little spot with DC20, where like I tried to read the new rules. I haven't even fully sat down and read it like front to back yet. Like I know there's a whole thing about spells now. Like spells are in the game. I haven't fully looked at them. Like I think we looked at maybe one before starting our most recent DC20 session. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Last full version I've played is 9.5. I'm a little behind on changes. I talked a little bit about them in the DC Crit Discord server. Shout out DC Crit. Kind of got told some of the updates. I like some of what I'm hearing. Other parts, I need to actually play it and see. But let's talk. Let's talk about DC20. Let's talk about DC20 content. And let me catch up on chat a little bit. Jakin, do you eat the apples or the bees? I don't know what that means. If we're talking about Applebee's, I'm a Chili's guy. I'm ride or die Chili's. And I need to update them to 10.5. Oh yeah, there's a 10.5. Or although I'll probably wait for 0.11. That sentence, I need to update to this edition, although I should probably wait for this edition. My mindset for the past few months has been, I'm just gonna wait for the great rewording. But last I heard, the great rewording isn't gonna be 11 now or something. I'm very behind. I'm very, very behind. Yep, waiting for 11.2. Yeah, combat will finish with the 11 update. Combat's not finished. Oh, I thought we already... Oh. That's interesting. Okay. Being a YouTuber, I've been wanting to try live streaming. The idea was to pick random class combinations and make a character from that. Do it. Try it out. Doesn't hurt to try it. Guys, I heard of this cool TTRPG. It's called DC20. I've not read anything past 9.5. I'm kind of with you. Like, I've tried to sit down a few times, but just haven't, like, fully committed. Oh, so that's what we're doing, reading .10. Well, I'm not even saying I'm reading it, like, on stream. I'm just talking about, like... What? I don't know what I'm trying to talk about with DC20. I just know I'm excited to jump back in, but it's also so daunting because it feels like so much has changed. Like, I don't know how to best explain this. Let me try for you guys. Who called me out as a Trekkie earlier? Let's switch up from the IMAX hat. Let's just go full Star Trek. Okay. Boom. So we played DC20 very consistently, like before the daughter was born, and like basically like every week we would play, right? And you know, it became more like once a month, once the daughter was here, maybe twice a month, maybe. But it was enough of a gap where like we would come back to the game and it wasn't as easy to pick up on as it has been for other TTRPGs in the past. For example, right? When I first started playing TTRPGs, it was around 2014, 2015. We played D&D, but it was actually like Pathfinder First Edition. We would play it consistently, leave it for a few weeks. 5th edition came out. We'd go back to Pathfinder, but we were able to pick up Pathfinder pretty okay. We'd go back to D&D. We were able to pick up D&D very okay. Starfinder, admittedly, not so much, because 1st edition Starfinder sucks. DC20, the early versions were so easy to just pick back up on, because everything was so simple and like it just made sense. I don't want to say there's like a feeling of dread playing the game, because that's not fair. But like when we would come back to the game, it wasn't just like a me thing. It was like our table as a whole. We would be like, wait, what is the rule for this again? Because we would start confusing it with previous like beta versions of the rules. So like the session that we would end up playing would be a blend of 9.5, but also like from the alpha rules that launched. We were getting super confused trying to come back into the game. And it's actually led to some interesting conversations at the table. Like at the end of the day, they're down for whatever's just going to be fun as a whole. Like if I'm enjoying it, they're going to enjoy it. If they're enjoying it, I'm enjoying it, that sort of thing. But I'm not going to lie, we have skirted around with the idea of like, Daggerheart's finished. Daggerheart's fun. We've all played Daggerheart. It's very easy to pick up. Even if you haven't played in a while, you can just kind of pick it up and play. For some reason, we are struggling with that with DC20. Let's see what you guys are saying. Oh man, you guys have been chatting away. Oh man, I gotta catch up a little bit. You guys probably have some good insights. I got frustrated last session because of my wizard spells. Looking forward to the spell list. Oh yeah, well that's just we have to actually sit down and look at those spells at some point. Great rewording will be 0.23.75. The rewording will be the second to last update. The second to last update. What does that mean? The great rewording has been pushed back to fully finished combat in 0.11. 0.15 is the expected end of the tunnel, but not set in stone. 15. That's interesting. When are we doing Chat Plays DC20? Let's start with reading the manual. Can you pull it up? I don't know if I'm allowed to. I know for like a while there, you kind of had like dance around talking about it on stream, because like you couldn't show it on the stream because, you know, it's still a purchasable thing. Okay, all right. Ooh, that's a good question. So like, you're still able to I imagine you're still able to purchase the most like up-to-date version of the game, but as for like the free rule set that you can play to like test drive the game, is it still that first version where it's mental defense and physical defense? Oh, the defenses have been something my table has struggled with. I was starting to struggle with it a little bit on the monster streams, because we would have like back and forths with the chat about like, okay, but would this be area defense? Would this be area defense, or would this be precision defense? I keep wanting to say physical defense. I think the manual would be the copyright violation. Yeah, I think so. Also waiting for 0.11 because we're focusing on the character creator for DC Crit, and the monster maker might be updated at that point. That's another thing I would like, because my table was really excited to start using Demiplane, but if I haven't checked yet, but I imagine Demiplane isn't updated with the rule set. So like if you wanted to build a character in Demiplane, it would probably be what, like 0.9.5 or whatever. Yeah, we are jumping back in, but we are cautious. We really like the base version, but as the updated versions game, we lost steam because of the changes. A little bit same here, yeah. When we were playing like week to week, admittedly, not a problem, because we would just treat the level ups as like, we're not going to change the rules until it's time for a level up. But admittedly, the last few sessions, we've been confusing the 0.9.5 rules with previous versions of the game. The new Zipper Initiative innovative to you. What does that mean? What is the Zipper Initiative? Did Initiative change again? He says he's going to... oh, I lost it. He says he's going to try to fix the crunchiness. Okay, that's comforting, because like it I feel like the common phrase that was used as like the pitch for the game, to explain it to people who maybe don't play RPGs a lot, was like it's like the transition point. Like it's more complex than D&D, but not quite as complex as like Pathfinder. But like as the editions started coming out more and more, it was like, well, it's basically almost at Pathfinder's level. So like maybe at that point you just jump to Pathfinder if you are wanting to, if you are looking for a little bit more crunch with your game. So it's almost like it's like it's D&D. If we're talking about like complexity, it's like D&D, Daggerheart. Actually, I would say D&D and Daggerheart basically on par, but Daggerheart just makes sense. D&D, Daggerheart, DC20, Pathfinder, they're almost like neck and neck a little bit. He's going to fix the crunchiness. That's nice. There's a lot of points. There's a lot of things with leveling up. Oh, okay. One thing that kept confusing my players and I, the Paragon stuff. Because I feel like the build up to it was like, it's the subclass for if you just want to subclass into your class. So like you don't want to be some variant. Like you don't want to be a swashbuckler rogue or whatever the other rogue subclasses are. You just want to be like more rogue. But then like it wasn't in the subclass section. It was like in the, what was it, the talent section or something. That was confusing the players for a little bit. There's a lot of changes to catch up. Yeah, I feel like I'm drowning trying to catch up. It's almost like, should I just wait? That sounds like you're rolling with fear, Jakin. All right, I see what you did there. Oh, man. Because the other games are fully released, there's not much to confuse with other versions, I guess. Embrace the DC20ing. I'm trying. You can show little excerpts from the manual, but not the whole thing. Okay. The free version is still the first version. That's crazy. Because that's not even close to what the game is now. You know what I mean? Like, there's... That's still mental defense, physical defense. The spell lists don't work the same. Rest points don't work the same. So much of that first version of the game that I fell in love with doesn't work that way now. They changed the defenses, precision and area, right? Yeah, I remember way back. Maybe it's been a year now. I don't know. I remember way back. I started hearing some of those pitches before the announcement of that stream. Like, hey, he's like, tell me your thoughts on this. Precision defense, area defense, pros and cons. What do you think? And like, I was semi down for it, but I was like, it really depends on how it's explained. Maybe it's explained better in 10 and 10.5. Again, I need to read those and actually find out for myself. But the defense changes we've been semi-struggling with. Because isn't area something like you're going to get hit no matter what? So it's how much you can like brute force your way through it? Or something like that. DC20 beginning... Whoops. Whoa, where'd you go? Where'd you go? DC20 is beginning to sound very complicated. I would say it's still less complicated than like other RPGs. But when I think back to the first version that we played, yeah, it's almost like a night and day difference. Almost. Demiplane is still 0.9.5. I guess that's good news for my table because we're technically still on that version. DC20 isn't complicated. The fact that the updates are coming out so fast is making memorizing harder. Are they coming out fast? You no longer roll for initiative. I'm going to be honest. I barely remember switching to rolling for initiative. That's right. Okay, so you use Zipper. Isn't that what it was before? Where like, it's good guys, bad guys, good guys, bad guys? So we're just going back to like what the original version was? Is that what I'm getting? I wouldn't start playing again until at least 0.11 because it's supposed to have the combat pillar done. Okay. That has crossed my mind a little bit, admittedly. PCs take a turn, then the NPCs, then back to PCs. So like, okay, so like in the original version, I'm still waiting for the Monster Collection PDF, which gives guides on building monsters from 1 to 20. I think I heard that got an update in like a magazine recently, right? I've been loving the magazines. I've been caught up more on the magazines than I have the actual rules of the game. The condition list is also being trimmed. Thank God. I think I remember we were talking about that in your server. Instead of rolling for initiative, the combat just starts alternating players and enemies, and to compensate agility players, they have free movement at round 1 equal to their agility. Also maybe grit removed. Oh, grit's going away? I think I like that. That's okay. That seems like a cool change to initiative. You're going back to the original, but agility players can have a free movement, so that's cool. I def think Paragon subclasses were initially implemented badly. Yes. Gotta play to learn. He already changed to Paragon. What happened to the Paragon? The book chapter order is going to be changed as well. Oh, mystical defense. That's what it was the first time. Yep. Dad, did you change it to the Brian Shaw? Area is taking damage, precision is avoiding. He's making weekly shorter videos explaining the changes in detail instead of having to watch the streams. I was falling behind on the streams. I was pretty good about keeping up. And then I fell behind. I believe the weapons and spells should specify the defense. Like that's what they do now, or like that's what you think they should do? I agree with you that I think that's what they should do. They should specify which defense they target. Compared to other TTRPGs, updates come out super fast. Yeah. It was always zipper, but now you also don't roll for initiative. So we're back to the original. Little Large Studios, what's up, dude? Been a minute. Monster PDF did get an update and is more complete, but is still missing a few things. Okay. There's an update to the Monster Collection. I still have no clue what Grit did. Grit is gone. I'm okay with Grit being gone. Grit will be optional. What the heck? Is it gone or is it optional? Grit will be optional. Will be an optional talent for people who did like it, but Charisma will give a bonus to saves. To saves. So are we going back to you pick 2 attributes to have a save in? It's smart. They are making shorter videos. There can be only one. I know that's a reference. I just haven't seen it. The weapon spells, maneuvers do specify what they target. Okay, that's great. Weapons normally target physical defense, or sorry, precision defense. But maneuvers that make area attacks target AD. Okay. Interesting. Less skills, less conditions, less points, damage calculations simplified, simplified maneuvers, etc. Lots of changes to reduce crunchiness coming with 0.11. Jake is gritting his teeth. I'm trying to get through it. Okay, so 0.11 sounds like that might have to be the version I wait for to play. Maybe. Because do we know when 0.11 is estimated to come out? Because that's no longer the great rewording. That's just combat is finished, 0.11. And then do we know which pillar we're moving on to after combat? Like, are we doing exploration? Are we doing social? I feel like those are kind of like self-explanatory, but who knows? Wonder how the dynamic of less skills and conditions will translate into combat. If it's similar to how the game first released, very smoothly. It feels like Coach is reining back the game. I like the changes promised for .11 so far. That's good to hear. That's really good to hear. Encounter-wide DC is still a thing. I have no idea. Most spells also target physical defense, with AD normally for area attacks too. So when is... So I thought the whole change for physical defense and area defense was like... Sorry, precision defense. Oh my god. Precision defense and area defense was that they'd both start getting hit more equally. Because like that was kind of the thing with mental and physical. Like you would buff one or the other, but physical took like the majority of the hits. So is AD still a not as often hit defense? When are you making your own TTRPG? Not. I wanted to, and then literally like not too long after I said like I'm gonna try, Daggerheart came out and did exactly one of the things I wanted to do. DC20 came out and did the other thing I wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? I can choose one or the other, but both of these do exactly what I wanted an RPG to do. Nothing is stopping you from reading the spells now. All right, that sounds like a challenge. We'll at least get some spells pulled up. How about that? I'm guessing go to 10.5 for the spells. I have been enjoying the one-shots for everything so far. Like the last one I did with my players a few weeks ago, the Creeping Covenant, I believe made by Taco Danger, right? Or Danger Taco? That one was a lot of fun. We had a question or two about some of like the lore mentioned. Other than that, it was fun. It just felt like a classic dungeon crawl kind of adventure. It was awesome. Coach showed a data sheet. He's halfway through this version. Okay. 0.12 will be exploration. 0.13 will be social. Okay, so we're going to exploration and social. Make the jankiest crew to play 0.11 and just absolutely go ham. Like, we'd love to. Me and the boys would love to play and make more videos. The goal is for the two defenses to be closer in use, and I think they accomplished it, but it's not 50-50. Okay. With mystical defense, you would need to wait for undead or angels to fight. What was your TTRPG setting? With my custom one, just my homebrew world. I've just been building that world since 2020. I think that's when we started playing. So yeah, it's called Aderon. I really like it. I like the lore that my players made for it. I like the history. Just incorporating like that previous campaign. That first campaign lasted close to 3 years, I believe. So it holds a special place in my heart. Fusion Dagger 20. My friends and I, we did toy around with the idea of doing DC20, but like DC as in like DC Comics 20. We thought that'd be kind of fun to try out once. I still wouldn't be opposed to doing that. Like maybe there'd be like a limited series on the channel where we just do you know, like the new 52 DC kind of DC20 kind of setting. That could be kind of fun. All right, let me see. So DC20, I don't even have 10.5 downloaded. Do I? I have .10. Yeah, I only have .10. I need to update that. Okay. We'll do that. We'll do that. Here, let me get this ready. We'll pull up a spell or two. Again, we can't show the whole thing, but let's see. Just gotta make sure I get this up right because I haven't done this in a little while. Everything is squished. Okay. Okay, I think this will work. So we'll do this. Okay, doke. So the beta rules. Whoops. It's not even. Whoops. How do I edit this again? Okay. Boom. Just like that. It cuts up at the top. That's okay. Who cares? Whoops. Okay. Alright, so we need to go to spells. Where are spells? Classes. Combat rules. Core rules. Oh my goodness. DC20 classes. And then a change log. That's still 0.10. I know it's not 10.5. That means I have to like go into like, what was it, drive through RPG and re-download it and everything. Spells. Okay, spells, page 66. Let's see what we got here. He's downloading the new one. Probably not. Spells are sorted by sources. Certain classes, such as the cleric, druid, sorcerer, and wizard, draw their magic from a spell source instead of schools or tags. Tags. Like Pathfinder? Like those kind of tags? Is that what we're talking about? Hold on. Are we doing the tags similar to how Pathfinder does tags for spells? Is there going to be a tag system, or is that just more for like sorting purposes? Yes, like Pathfinder. Really? I'm not going to say it. Here, y'all can hear me crunch on a chip while I think. Fascinating. Like Pathfinder. Astromancy sounds cool. Conjuration, divination, elemental, enchantment, invocation. Only 3. Interesting. Nullification. That's kind of a cool category. Transmutation, astromancy, conjuration, divination, elemental. Wait. Okay. Like Legends in the Mist. My brain is mush. 10.5 have more spells to look at, but I can't show off the entire document. I have to just look at like certain sections. Scroll up for school and tag descriptions. Oh, thank God. Okay. Good idea, good idea. Wild magic table, okay. Spell duels, okay. Those are still cool. I never have them happen in the game, but... Whoa, we got a big old list. Spell tags describe the characteristics of a spell. Some tags represent clear in-world effects, such as manipulating fire, while others exist mainly to support game mechanics, such as a type of creature the spell can target. Spell tags define how a spell interacts with the game system, such as the damage it deals, the conditions it inflicts, or the creatures it affects. Certain ancestry traits, class features, and talents reference specific spell tags, allowing characters to specialize in particular types of magics, such as fire, illusion, or summoning. Spell tags help players and GMs quickly understand a spell's function, theme, and how it interacts with other parts of the game. So, for example, if we look at, I don't know, let's go with Chaos. Unleashes unpredictable magical effects, wild surges, or uncontrollable forces that defy logic and structure. Chaos magic thrives on randomness and unstable outcomes. So I guess that could also be good for a GM. So if the player is like, I don't know, casting a spell that has like a chaos tag, but is heavily implying like he's controlling the chaos, the magic coming from it, the DM or GM, sorry, can step in and be like, actually. Go to tag out for tacos? Huh? 3 sources, 8 schools, lots of tags. Tacos do sound great. I just had Taco Bell last night, but I could go for some more. Alright, yeah, so that's the tags, but then there's the schools. Okay, so we have the schools, we have the tags, and then we have sources. Okay, hold on. So we have sources that each have their own school, that each have their own tags. Or no, the sources all have a few of each of the schools, and then each of the spells have tags. It's just a sorting thing. Okay, it's just a sorting thing. Is the DC20 setting agnostic? I feel like yes, right? Yeah, we have one right here. Looks like Arcane Bolt. So Source, Arcane. School, Astromancy. Has bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing for spell tags. Okay, so I'm assuming that means they work just like how they would it usually, like when those definitions pop up in the game. It costs 1 action point, 10 spaces, instantaneous. So, cantrips. Are cantrips in the game? I feel like this is coming back to me. Cantrips are no longer in the game. Just some spells are action points, and then other spells are mana points, depending on how powerful it is. Garlic Parmesan Doritos are a thing. That sounds great. I'm running a custom world for it that I built myself. Insane work, took me a while. You could run it in any setting. Maybe you'll need to adapt the species that show up though. Yeah, I run it in the homebrew world that I run. And there's no fairies, so we have to design the fairy each time. That's right, no more cantrips. Okay. I guess that kind of makes things a little simpler. You just have spells. And then if you're a marshal, you have attacks, you have talents, you have features, whatever the other one is. It's talents and something else. Sources are just wizard, cleric, and druid spells. School categorizes the spells by theme, with warlock and spellblade getting to pick three 2 schools for their list. Huh. That was a crunchy tip. Okay, so you conjure a bolt of pure magical energy that homes in on a target. Make a ranged spell attack against the area defense of a target within range. On a hit, the target takes 1 bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage of your choice. So, okay, so yeah, exactly like who said it. I can't see it in the chat anymore, but magic missile. So then action points, you can increase the range, the damage, action points, and mana points. Choose X additional targets within range using the spell attack. Okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Autonomous. You can attack a target you've seen since the start of your last turn, provided it's within range. The attack ignores half and 3/4 cover, and you don't have disadvantage if the target is unseen by you. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, that's the 1 single target AD spell because it's undodgeable. Wait, what? Hold on, there's exceptions. There's exceptions to the area defense. That's the 1 single target AD spell because it's undodgeable. That homes in on a target. You make a ranged spell attack against the area defense of a target within range. On a hit, the target takes 1 bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage of your choice. Goated movie, Cole. Are you watching that right now? It's Magic Missile. The target takes 1 bludgeoning. But you... So, hold on. Is it still a thing in DC20 where if you miss on a magical attack against someone, you still do half the damage? Is that still a thing? And if so, what would be the point of rolling? I guess there's the +5 system. So I guess you could technically do like another point, another point, another point. God, no, it's 10 p.m. I have work tomorrow. I don't know, dude. You could have been in the middle of watching it. They removed half damage on a miss. Oh. Interesting. I think I'm okay with that change because we almost always forgot that was part of the game. I'm not gonna lie. Nope, that's what AD is for. Wait, hold on. So area defense, if I'm understanding correctly, you're gonna get hit no matter what. But this is saying you roll, you make the roll to hit. So wouldn't this just be a precision defense attack? Right? I forgot there was a Swordplay and Sorcery shop. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a Swordplay and Sorcery hat somewhere. I think it's in the trunk of my car. I forgot about that. I actually really liked the hat. I liked the hoodie a lot. Wow, I forgot about... Hold on, no, I'll click that link later. So I guess I'm still a little confused on the precision and area defense. Did that get more detailed in .10/10.5? Like, is that better, like, clearly explained, like, in certain situations, like when something is AD versus precision? Because I feel like it was, like, loosely explained in 9.5, but it had a lot of questions left over. I still have my Swordplay and Sorcery hat that Manic got me. Yeah, it's awesome. They removed half damage on a miss and replaced it with the attack didn't miss, but your AD reduced the damage to the point where it's like a miss. What? Welcome back to the system. Grand old dwarf, good to see you, dude. It's not a hit or miss like PD. It's hit and hurt or hit and endure, AD. I need to reread that. It's not hit or miss like PD. It's hit and hurt or hit and endure, AD. Is that an example of some of the crunch that will be removed from the game? Or is that one of the ones that's like here to stay? Like, are we set on that? Like there's different rules for the different defenses. The first version of the game, magical defense, physical defense. Pretty cool. Then the second one was like mental defense and then a physical defense. Which was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Now we have precision defense and area defense. Guys, I think we're confusing Jake. I'm just trying to think as I'm thinking of a few different scenarios, because these are the exact kind of conversations where like we play it out at the table and then it becomes a whole conversation point either in the moment about the rule or after the game it becomes a whole conversation about the rule. So I'm taking it in. Like I said, I'm catching up. There's so much to catch up on. There's so many changes. Like, that's a change I didn't know. So area defense is going to hit. I think you're looking way too much into the semantics, possibly. Go to page 33 for defense explanation, please. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Spell attacks. A creature makes a spell attack when they make an attack check using a spell or similar ability against the target's defense. Up in ranges. Area attack. A creature makes an area attack when they make an attack against targets that are within a specified area, such as a cone, line, or sphere. Okay. Determining if an attack hits. Then we got the defenses. Area defense. The creature's ability to withstand attacks that can't be avoided, such as explosions, shockwaves, or other widespread effects, except in this case, that magic missile spell. Instead of relying on dodging, area defense reflects raw endurance, resilience, and sheer force of will to endure the assault. Then you got the formula. Might represents your physical toughness and endurance, allowing you to absorb and resist bodily harm. Charisma reflects your inner resolve and commanding presence, reinforcing your ability to withstand mental and supernatural assaults. Wouldn't that be more of an intelligence thing? That's it. That's all it does? Okay. I think I just need to look at a different spell. I think it's odd that there's one exception to the rule and it's a spell. I feel like you start entering the D&D side of things where like you start off by just making like one exception and then several exceptions start taking place. There's a thing at the theater happening. That's okay. We're sorted out. Okay. Precision defense, when your physical or mental quickness, agility, or intelligence can help you avoid an attack. Area defense, when your physical and mental endurance can help you shrug it off. I think I need to look at a different spell. Acceptances for exceptions. Pokemon, gotta catch them all. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I think I gotta look at a different spell. That one, that one being like the exception or something. Yeah, I'm just gonna randomly scroll, then we'll turn the screen back on. Let's go to, just keep scrolling. Boom, we landed on this page. Let's see what we got. All right, we got Acid Stream, Air Slash, and Blight Bomb. Those sound pretty cool, not gonna lie. The spell uses AD because it is replacing the always hit / force damage of Magic Missile. But it's just one missile, right? You have to pay to upgrade to multiple missiles? So wouldn't it... It's not a great example to help you wrap your head around it. Yeah, no, not at all. So, if it's just the one missile, shouldn't it just be precision defense? And then if you're upgrading it to multiple missiles, shouldn't it then change to area defense? The Ant, thank you for hanging out. Good to see you. I think that's how I would do it. You know what? You can always homebrew. You can always change a rule at the table. I think that's how I would run that one. If you're going to use one of those magic missiles, or whatever we called it, if you're going to use one of those magic missiles, it's precision. If you're going to enhance it with multiple, it changes to the area defense. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. It's area defense because it can't be dodged. The flavor of the spell is that it will always hit you, thus AD. Hold on. You conjure a bolt of pure magical energy that homes in on a target. Make a ranged spell attack against the AD of a target within range. Hit, the target takes 1 bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage of your choice. Aside from the little AD part that's in there, yeah, no, I'm just going to make that precision defense. I know. Like magic missile always hits in D&D, but it says that in the I don't like precision and area defense as much the more I play with it. Acid Stream, Arcane, Primal, School's Elemental. It's got Corrosion, Enfeeble, and Hindered. I didn't go to college. Enfeeble? It's a self-range, 2 action points, instant. You produce a stream of acid that project in a 4-space line. Make an area spell attack against the AD of every target within the area. On a hit, the target takes 1 corrosion damage. Spell passive. Mundane materials in the area such as wood, leather, rope, and all that are not being worn or held partially erode and decay, weakening the structure and gear. On a hit, the target takes 1 corrosion damage. Okay, maybe this is a 10.5 thing. You know what? Here, let me just download 10.5. Maybe this was changed in 10.5. But like, why even include the hit thing in the spell if it's going to be an AD spell and it's going to hit regardless? Why still include the hit? Right? Wouldn't you just be like, wouldn't that just be like one of the things before it like describes the spell? It says like damage. If it's gonna be like an AD spell, it just says like damage, 1 corrosion or something like that. Just came by to support and say hi. What's up, Kyle? Gotta go, but I liked and hopefully I'll be back in a bit. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. Arcane Bolt just doesn't shoot multiple missiles, just 1 homing missile. Get Arcane Missile to attack multiple targets. Just because it hits doesn't mean you'll do damage. Wait, hold on. I think that's a thing I was disconnecting too. Hold on. Just because it hits doesn't mean you'll do damage. So then you roleplay / flavor. Okay, so if I'm the GM and I'm running that spell, here, let me make sure I'm logging in and getting 10.5 changed, updated, downloaded. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh my god. Okay. So I'm the GM, I'm running the spell. The Arcane Missile is going to hit you no matter what. So I'm saying that like such an, I don't know, Lex Luthor, I don't know. Sinestro, we'll go with Sinestro. Sinestro uses his yellow lantern ring and launches an Arcane Missile. It, boom, impacts into your chest. we're gonna go ahead and see if it does damage. Is that how you do that in that scenario? Like, boom, it hit you. Let's find out if it actually did anything. Is that how we run it at the table? I need to see an example. I need to see someone else do it, so I can be like, I'm gonna start phrasing it like that. Instead of hit, maybe it should say if you beat the AD. Yeah, because like it would be wordier, admittedly, so I get why you want to simplify it to just one word. But also, just other RPGs and everything, you read hit and you think, oh, it hit, right? AD doesn't damage regardless, but it does hit regardless. Children can't hit a bouncer and cause damage. They can with a baseball bat. The flavor for AD spells hitting but not doing damage is that either the spell is too weak to hurt them or they tough it out. There's a roll to deal damage even if it's an attack that you can't dodge, because guaranteed damage is bad. There's a roll to deal damage even if it's an attack that you can't dodge, because guaranteed damage is bad. Is it? I think I would make an exception if we're doing area defense. So like if we're gonna target the area defense of a creature, wouldn't we want to treat it like we roll to see like if it like we roll if it meets their area defense, you know, they take X amount. If it doesn't, they take the like 1 damage. It's like if they don't hit the area defense, it's 1 damage. If they do hit the area defense, it's 2 damage, and then every +5 is like the extra, right? Wouldn't you want it to be that if area defense is always going? I don't know. And don't worry, guys. I've got 10.5 downloading, and also Star Trek Adventures 2nd Edition Quick Start Guide downloading. We're in good hands. Think of AC from D&D. Just because you don't beat the AC doesn't mean you missed them. It could bounce off your armor or the dragon scales. AD is representing that. My counter argument to that is the vast majority of D&D players unfortunately never think of it like that. Here, let's try 10.5. Maybe it's worded a little different in this version. Let's go to page 66. I'm getting it loaded up. I'm getting it loaded up, don't worry. Oh, the spell moved on me. Yeah, the defense is maybe the biggest talking point at our table at the moment. PD and AD are largely systems for the thematic reasons for damage to be prevented. Think a grenade going off next to Superman. It hit him, but his AD was higher than the roll of the explosion. It's an interesting example. One thing I don't like about AD is if enduring is a way to avoid damage, that should be an option for any source sword or fireball. I'd like to hear you expand on that. If it's a way to avoid damage, that should be an option for any source, sword or fireball. I would love to hear your thoughts expanded on that. At the end of the day, the defenses are a game mechanic. They can't encapsulate all real-world scenarios. Yes. AD doesn't make a lot of sense. It's basically representing what HP should represent. Wait a second, hold on. You're kind of right on that last part. I feel like AD is making sense. It seems like to a majority of people, just unfortunately not me. But I think I do agree with you on it basically is representing what HP should represent. I think I'm on the same page with you. Anything related to PD and AD hasn't been changed in 10.5, by the way. No! Okay. All right. We'll move on. Different missiles, different spells. I will say, I thought when we were going to get the spells that they were going to be a little shorter. But they aren't. But we'll see. We'll see. No, AD is not damage reduction. Look to changelog. Yeah. Am I allowed to show the changelog? Is that okay? I don't want to overstep. Changelog, let's go. Classes, added the 5th level expert feature to all classes. That's cool. Casters gain +1 mana point at levels 3, 7, and 10. That's cool. Hybrids gain 1 mana point at levels 1 and 10. Class tables, level 6 is now a talent and path progression. Expert, subclass features, talent path progression, second sorcery point, class capstone, subclass capstone. Okay. The table stuff, I'm not going to pretend to have the tables memorized, so I'm just going to say like, yep, all right, that's cool. That works for me. I've tried to talk about this in the Discord for little ages, but if you want something like this, having evasion and HP to represent how agile and how tough you are would be much simpler. And more interesting too, instead of just having 2 different AC numbers. If I'm not mistaken, here, let me pull one up. Because there's another RPG that we thought about switching to. Because it was kind of starting to do what we were liking with DC20. Nimble RPG. They have evasion, right? Daggerheart does this and it works well. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I don't have the book by me. It's in the other room now. I had the Daggerheart book by me for the longest time because that book is so darn freaking good. Example, you cast a fireball in the center of a group of ogres. You roll your spell attack against their AD. You roll under their AD, they take no damage. Sounds like a miss to me. Anyways. Your magic fire explodes out from the center and washes over them. The smell of burned hair fills the air, but not only do they seem undeterred, they look even angrier now. Now that's honestly a great way to navigate that. That's awesome. That was cool. That point to Dragon Horde. That's a good way to describe it. That clicked for me a little better. I liked that. Nimble doesn't have evasion. All attacks hit unless you roll a 1. Nimble's fun. I feel like if you're enduring damage... I feel like if enduring damage is a way to prevent the HP loss, AD is this thematically, then a character should be able to try endurance any kind of damage. Getting cut or burned is still getting hit. Ah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think, yeah, okay. I don't know, but yeah. Because, I mean... So if you're... I'm using movies. I like movies. If you're a Spartan, and you have, like, a sky of arrows coming down upon you, that's going to be area defense, right? Because you're going to get hit by those arrows. You just got to figure out, like, can you survive, essentially? So, but if you're on a battlefield, I see what you're saying. I don't know if that's the answer, but I see what you're saying. I'm conflicted on that one. I don't know. Getting cut, like, because precision defense makes sense to me. You're getting cut, you're getting slashed, you're getting stabbed, pierced, all of that sort of things, all those sorts of things. But treating it like AD, wait, wouldn't you treat it like AD anyways? Wouldn't that still be like you're getting hit? Isn't that the same argument for AD? Hold on, wait. Because like the GM could say like the sword hits you, they roll the like he collides his sword like into your clavicle. I don't know. They roll for damage, and then they narrate the rest, saying like it bounces off the armor or whatever. Isn't that the same thing at that point, right? That's the... Hold on. Yeah, couldn't you argue the same premise for precision defense? It really is just like a thematic difference. It's not like earlier in the game where like there's a physical defense for physical attacks and then there's one for magical attacks. There's one for mental attacks and then there's one for physical attacks. Now we're like, they're both physical attacks, but couldn't you just combine them now if we're gonna do the thematic thing? I think I see what you're saying by evasion. Because couldn't you just treat all of it like maybe the GM narrates it as you got hit, but let's see if it actually impacted you. Look, I don't love AD, but I generally have two separate defenses. But I generally like having two separate defenses. Yes, that idea is cool. I've always loved that idea. Especially with that first initial release where it was like, hey, there's one for magical attacks, and then there's one for like physical attacks. I loved that premise. A mess of archers hidden in the trees launch a volley of arrows at your party. Yeah. That is just an issue I have with the concept. In both cases, you are hit, but PD thematically is dodging, but AD is thematically enduring something unavoidable. Yeah. Here's my thing now. I get it now. It's clicked. Dragon Horde's example really clicked for me. But also, Flagon, how do you say it? Hackaput? Hack. Also bring up points that make me go like, even though I understand it, and I get why they are doing it this way, that doesn't mean it doesn't feel exhausting to think about. Even though it shouldn't be. Like, it's just like, hey, just accept it, right? This is hitting you. Let's see if it does damage. It's as simple as that. Why does it feel exhausting? Maybe it's just because I've been talking about it for 30-ish minutes, but I don't love area defense, I think is what I'm getting at. Especially because most monsters can target both. Oh, there's really no need to have two different defenses. You can just have one because most monsters can target both. That's true, they can. The paladin is hit 5 times, but only 1 arrow makes purchase. You take 2 damage. Every situation doesn't narratively work, but that's okay. I see it as PD is sort of the ability to actively deflect or affect a targeted attack. AD is sort of everything else. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way I think I would have to think about it, because, like, full transparency, talking about it with the players, what feels like for months now, with chat a few different times, I think I just have to accept I don't like precision and area defense. I just have to, like, accept that and move past it. Like, this is how the game works now. Oh well. Man, y'all bring up great points. Dragon, your example really helped lock it in for me. So I understand it now. What is that Lando Calrissian quote from Solo, A Star Wars Story? Which, by the way, did better than Mandalorian and Grogu. Lando says in the movie, oh man, how does that quote go? I don't like it, I don't agree with it, but I accept it. The reason for 2 defenses, in my opinion, is pure for game balance reasons rather than any realism. I don't even know if realism is my problem. I think I just don't like it. Having 2 defenses is cool if it results in a gameplay difference. Like, if you have low MD, you might try to stay away from spellcasters. But if you have 2 defenses and monsters can target both, then yeah. Thematically, I preferred the magic and non-magic defense rather than how you interact with the source of damage. Yes. Game mechanic wise, it is easy enough to make rulings during play. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Like, I understand now what I have to do in the moment when the players bring up these talking points. And we just have to kind of accept it. The good thing is, you'll never have to think about it. The attacker knows what they are targeting from their attack. Just look at the number that corresponds on the sheet and describe it however. That's true. You never have to think about it unless you are my players. In which case they wait, so what about X, Y, and Z? And it's like, oh yeah, what about X, Y, and Z? We get distracted so easily. Let's go back to the changelog. Let's see, we got some changes to the Fury subclass for Barbarian. A talent has been removed. That's interesting. Renamed Brace to be Fortify as to not confuse it with the Brace maneuver. That's a good change. Renamed Brace to Fortify. Oh wait, I just read that. Channel Divinity cleaned up the wording and made it a once per combat feature. Okay. Corrected the check used in the Destruction Blessing. Inspiring Presence changed to once per round. Increased its range to 10. Added interaction with Death's Door. Then we got some monk changes. I don't like monks, but that's okay. I just don't like monks in general. It's not a this system thing. It's just I've never been a fan of monks. Rogues.
Changed invisibility to invisible, as invisibility is not a condition. Okay. Fix the DC tip to have the correct value of a passive penalty. Made it so stamina regen is easier to require. Fixed the firebolt typo. Cool, cool. Fixed the typo. Corrected the example. Cool. Maneuvers. Clean up the wording and how repeatables are represented within enhancements. The following maneuvers underwent these updates. That's a lot of maneuvers. Okay. Stamina point costs were changed or removed from some removers. Some maneuvers had quality of life or balance changes. It looks like a lot happened to maneuvers. New maneuver, Scattershot. That sounds cool. Spellcaster chapter added a poison tag. Nice. Corrected the example in combo casting. And then spells. They've been changed to say tags instead of spell tags. For consistency, many spells have had tags updated. Spell source typos have been fixed. Almost every single spell received typo fixes, wording changes, quality of life changes, or balance changes. Some spells have been renamed and possibly reworked. And then they give the examples. Some spells have been removed or added to certain spell lists. And then a whole bunch more new spells. That's cool. A lot of spells. I remember that's one of the earliest complaints when we started going into DC20 with my table. There weren't enough spells, right? There was only the custom spell list. And so, oh my god, we're basically at 2 years now playing this game. For basically 2 years, the players have been like, hey, are there going to be any updates with spells? We finally have spells. Equipment. Specific property updates. The return property now requires Toss or Throne. They removed Grandmaster and Legendary multi-class until Prestige is added to the game. Was Prestige removed from the game? I think I missed something. I thought Prestige was still part of the game. Hazardous Hide has returned. I don't remember what that one does. And removed Beta Note from Celestial Magic. Okay. Interesting. You should also look at the .10 changelog. You mother trucker. Mother trucker, dude. That hurt like a butt cheek on a stick. Let's see. I accidentally clicked out of it. Gosh friggin' darn it. Yeah, because I didn't know Prestige was removed from the game. That will be re-added in the next update. I thought the next update was just combat stuff. Oh Lord have mercy. Oh my god. Why did you... Hold on, let me show you. Because I switched over, right, to .10 and went to the very bottom. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be like 2 pages, right? 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page, 5 page, 6 page. 7 pages of changes. Holy crap. The HP of each class. Each class has a different HP? Hold up. Oh my god, I did it again. I closed out. Hold on, hold on, hold on. So if I go to rank... No, it's not called Ranger. What is it called? Hunter. If I go to Hunter... Hunter has a different thing. Oh, that's the talents. Ugh, okay. Hunter, that's class talents. Hunter class. What do you mean you can't do the preview? Oh my gosh. .10 was a biggie. Yeah, I'm seeing I grossly misunderstood. Yeah. I was like, 10.5, that'll have the changes we need most up to date.
Lord have mercy.
Okay, I guess I could have looked at this instead. Martial stamina point progression, cantrips. Oh my god, there's so much. My group has been playing Shadow Dark as a palette cleanser while waiting for 0.11. I think that's what we kind of have to do. I appreciate being part of the development, however, it can be exhausting, and I think a lot of DC20 fans like myself have gotten tired of the changes, making them grumpy about everything good or bad.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that's the problem. Because trying to hop back in the game, and so many changes have taken place since the last time I played. It's almost like Whiplash. It feels like a new edition. We have to. My table still isn't used to the new defenses. We're still not used to the new defenses. We're not caught up. Spells have now been introduced into the game. Each class now apparently has their own health. The camera's out of focus. Camera, come back in focus. Thank you. Oh, HP is now just 2 per level, 1 per level, or 2 every odd level, depending on the class. So the other part of the stream that I was going to ask you guys, because it's been nice hearing in different servers. I'll pop my head in because I've been a little bit more present recently. You know, it's nice hearing people say like, oh, you're gonna upload something again, you're gonna do another stream again. Yeah, it'd be great too. I don't know what DC20 fans want at the moment. I know what I want, and maybe that could be the content, but I don't know. I don't know what I want out of DC20 content at the moment. I know the number one thing I would like are more sessions to watch or listen to. There's a few good ones that were recommended when I was in the DC Crit server recently. That was cool. I think another thing that's making it hard to continue DC20, at least until it's at a more finished point, everything else isn't keeping up with the changes. It's like DC20 videos, I mean, I'm part of that problem, have been like going down. Like there's not as much DC20 content. The magazines have been fantastic. I love the magazines. I love those sessions, those one shots that they have. But yeah, like Demiplane, not super up to date at all. I don't know is there an update on when Demiplane is going to be up to date? Or because spells got added, it's now like, who knows? I think the only things that have been keeping up with the game itself have been DC Crit and what is the other one? The other site. I can't remember what that one's called. Oh man. I'm drawing a blank. I don't remember. Part of the issue is third-party creators take a big hit every update. It's great to be part of the ride, but the strategy of waiting until perfect to publish means the whole community gets fatigued. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and that was part of why I stopped kind of making videos. So I stopped making them because some of the changes that were happening were like, whoa. Some of these rule videos that I made are way wrong now. So I could either remake that video or wait until we're sure that this is the rule now and then make the video. Or I just make a video every time it happens. Be like, hey, here's the update. Here's a changelog video. Foundry is usually pretty up to date. I struggle using Foundry so bad. so bad. There are somehow so many great tutorials for Foundry, and also not enough walk me through exactly how this has to be done tutorials. It is a huge time cost. I would love to write adventures. I love writing sessions. I struggle writing DC20 sessions, especially recently, because I don't know what's relevant, what's current anymore. I used to be so up to date. So up to date. Now I'm up to date with things like Daggerheart 5.5, Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Starfinder 2nd Edition, Draw Steel. Bailey Wiki is your best bet for Foundry. Yes. I just have to actually learn how to look things up properly, because just going off the titles, I don't always get the answer. And then on top of that, the character sheet, maybe I haven't seen the recent character sheet. I haven't looked at the Foundry update since 9.5, like almost August or September of last year. No, whenever 9.5 came out, whenever that was. But I like Foundry. It's not quite my speed. It's a little too much. Then there's like, you either port forward stuff, or like you pay for the server to be able to host the games. And I usually, if I'm gonna play an online game, I just use Owlbear Rodeo. The problem is my in-person games. They would love to have a D&D Beyond type resource, something that makes it easier to just look up the rule, have a digital character sheet, roll dice at the table. And I get we can do that with Foundry, but we have better luck with our online games whenever we use like Owlbear Rodeo. Especially the changes Owlbear has been making. It's awesome. And honestly, before I jumped to the D&D ship, D&D Beyond, D&D Maps, pretty great. D&D Maps was so good, it outlasted their 3D VTT. The character sheets haven't updated since 9.5, so no worry. That's part of my issue. I don't like the way that the character sheets look on Foundry. I really don't. I know he wants the game complete before publishing, but he should have done 6 less classes, 10 less ancestries, etc. and released faster. Kickstarter promised more, though. I don't know. Maybe. I'm sad other classes like the Artificer, or some people say the Artificer, Artificer, and Summoner and stuff. I'm sad they're not gonna be in the game, because like they're made. Why not just insert them? Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys want? What do you guys want out of this channel? If I'm gonna have more consistent Mondays, being able to make stuff, right? What do you guys want to see? Because I don't know. I know I want to see more sessions of the game being played, or listening to them, especially for the long drives to work. I don't know. Like, I don't think people, because like there's already a good amount of channels, as I understand it, that do the character build videos. Here's how to build this, here's how to optimize this, here's how to max out this. I'm sure someone is doing the rules up to date, like doing tutorials for DC20. and they're probably super good at it. Want to try making a character? That's me. Okay. Now, here, let me click your name real quick. Go to channel. Yeah, I feel like I've seen these thumbnails before. How to make the Mario Brothers in DC20, Peach and Bowser. I admittedly don't recognize the anime characters, but subscribe. I subscribed. There's a reason massive corporations put out a finished product that has the core game out sooner than adds interest. It adds in the rest over time. I understand not wanting to do it that way though. Yeah. You reading and trying to understand the rules is good for me. Are we sure? That's not giving you guys like an aneurysm. Me having a crash out over defenses. Who knows what the next crash out would be. The gameplay video. Oh, like Chains? Like Chains of Laventria type gameplay videos? Yeah, I would love to do those. Honestly, what I would like to do is live stream them. But, you know, if I did that, I would need to actually know the rules. Preferably be up to date because that's the most relevant. Yeah, no, it'd be fun to make more of those. It would be. I enjoy making them. They're a lot of fun. The story for the last one was gonna be kind of interesting-ish, but then we got choked up on the edition. We were like, what should we do? But there's already a lot of good live streams of DC20, right? Wait, hold on. Are there? I know there's sessions that are uploaded. Like Slow Your Roll does them. Bardic Aggravation. I don't know when the Pocket Dimension has touched DC20 last. The Pocket Dimension people are so friendly. Yeah, I don't know. No, you can live stream without perfect knowledge of the rules. Make a quick ruling in the moment and move on, then figure it out between sessions. I can see that. If I were to bring back sessions, I'd probably do them live because there's a fun element to it when it's live. And then after they're live, they'd be privated for a little bit. We'd edit it just a tiny bit, upload it as its own video session. That way it can be like podcast form or whatever. Like people can have their audio only version or they can watch their video version of it. I think I would alternate it. So I'd have it be like week 1 of the month session, week 2 session recap / planning, right? Week 3 we play the game. Week 4 session recap / planning. I'd probably go in that kind of pattern. So like every week there'd be like a stream, but every other week would be a game, and every other week would be like we break down like locker room style, like here's what we did, here's what worked, here's what didn't work, what are we doing for the next session, and then just give everyone the notes, so if they want to run the session themselves, they can. That's probably the way I would do it. I record with Slow Your Roll a lot. We've been doing mostly Shadow Dark and Easy D6 for a couple months. Oh wait, does Slow Your Roll not even do DC20 at the moment? No. Oh wait, hold up. I looked up Slow Your Roll. They didn't even pop up. Wait, hold on. Slow Your Roll, DC20. Ah, here they are. Shadow Dark, Shadow Dark. Shadow Dark plus DC20 equals perfection. Ah, that's interesting. Rules like DC20 for beginners and less crunch. Shadow Dark, Shadow Dark, Shadow Dark, Shadow Dark. Fallout. DC20, DC20. Fallout. Man. T-Dog is the man and knows what's up. Bargaic Aggravation did the one game with Dungeon Coach and took 5-ish months to upload. I have seen all of those. That gave me a little bit of a fix for a while. That's the way to go, but editing can get carried away. I know I do. Could I even pull up that timeline for that session? There's very few quality gameplay channels for DC20 that I'm aware of. None that are live that I know about. T-Dog is the man and knows what's up. That's right, that's right. Can I turn down the stream music? Fine. Let's see. Boom! Get turned down. Is that better? Rules light is a good idea. Mostly what people are doing. Is that really what most people are doing with the game? Because I'm not gonna lie, I have toyed with the idea. I even toyed around with a video the other week where I was like, what if I just went back to the first version of the game? What if I went back to like that first version that's pretty close to the demo we got to play at Gen Con that one year, where like it just made sense. It was awesome. It was fast. It was clean. The game is definitely not fast. Definitely not clean. But like Coach has said many times, right? Where the purpose, the path that he's chosen at the moment, right, is to keep expanding on the game and then like whittle it down to what the game is supposed to be, right? We're just unfortunately in that part of the process where it's just like it bloated, but it sounds like he's beginning to start that process of, you know, decluttering. That's what I've been seeing. Man, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I kind of see why a bunch of people went to like Daggerheart. Daggerheart rocks. It very similar to like the early DC20 feelings of like it just works. Now, admittedly, way more theater kiddie, but it just works. And then there's like Tales of the Valiant. Whatever happened to that one? Is that one still around? Tales of the Valiant? It like got a lot of initial praise, and then when people found out like, oh, it's gonna be just the D&D rules but slightly different, they were like, ah, okay, huh. Once again, I think you'll love .11 because lots of decluttering is coming. See, it's like we were already kind of feeling it with 9.5, where we were like, our table was like, should we just wait? Like, should we just go to like a different game for a little bit and then come back? We loved being part of the feedback process, but also the feedback process was like exhausting us. Which if it's exhausting us, I can only imagine how much it's exhausting Coach. But yeah, it's like, we might as well just go to a different game for a little bit and then come back and do DC20. We'll check it out at 11, maybe. I don't think spells and maneuvers are really getting toned down in complexity. That said, I haven't gotten to play for .10, but with .9.5, it worked well. Yeah. Sounds like I've got some thinking to do. Sounds like I've got some brainstorming. So, for more of that brainstorming, when we're not on stream, I think I'm going to do it in the Discord. I'm just going to throw ideas down in that general chat. They're just going to be like, hey, what do we think about this? What do we think about trying this? How do we feel about this? And then we'll just see. Because maybe it's DC20 live content. That could be fun. Maybe it's just we stream every now and then. Or maybe it's just we kind of go on hiatus. We continue a hiatus until .11 comes out. And then we come back out of our hole and let's check out the game now. I don't know. Do we have any ideas what's being talked about on tomorrow's stream? To be clear, I bleed purple, but as a creator, I think you'd be smart to take a break and go rules light for a bit. I think so. I think so. At least until there's like a character creator that works, or I don't know. Do it. We need more of DC20. Just streams like this will be fine until 0.11. But like, when is 0.11? I think that's the part I'm nervous about. Like, is that going to be like a December thing? Or is that like a next year thing? Like, when do we think 0.11's coming out? More .11 changes, I think. August. Oof. Well, we're almost at the end of May. That's June, July, August. I'm going to assume tail end of August, September earliest? Character is a big factor. My table was so excited when Demiplane finally launched the character creator. Man, it makes me sad launching Demiplane. Like, I'm looking at it right now, just kind of like, I don't have it on the screen, obviously, but like, I'm looking at all the other games that have like finished before. Like, they've even got Dungeons and Dragons on here now, Daggerheart, Pathfinder, Starfinder, Marvel, even Cosmere. And then there's just DC20 down here. It's like, play DC20 on Demiplane. It's like, I would love to. And then we have to like rebuy the books, right? Well, I have the 9.5 rules in here. I'm guessing not even the rules are up to date in the sources. Do we get the updates in Demiplane? DC20's or DC Crit's character creators are getting pretty close. I cannot wait. I love DC Crit. Full game is supposed to be done by the end of the year. End of this year? No. No. Apparently there's a campaign button on Demiplane for DC20. So you can turn on content sharing. You can add players. You can't add NPCs. They're coming soon. You can't add resources. They're coming soon. You can't add encounters. They're coming soon. And setting just lets you change the members, permissions, and cover image. Okay. DC Crit is delish. That's correct. Demiplane has to pay developers for real dollars for each update. It doesn't make sense for them to keep rebuilding every major update. All right, real quick, we're gonna do a poll before the end of the stream. I'm curious what you guys vote for this. All right, so I need to know if you guys are taking the over or under on this question. What are the odds that DC20, sorry, that D&D announces a reboot, so a 6th edition, before DC20 finishes? I'm curious. I've been thinking about this for a few days now, because I'm starting to see some signs that make me think, I think they are possibly on the verge of announcing they're going to start a 6th edition. I'll give it 30 more seconds and we're going to end the poll. Because it's definitely time to wrap the stream up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Under 50%. I'm kind of tempted to take the over. I'm not going to lie. Oh, back from tacos, what did I miss? Me almost crashing out over area defense. Spoiler alert, I still do not like the concept of precision and area defense. Initially, I liked the idea of the change, and seeing how it's played out, I have not been a fan of the change. First, I've heard of D&D changes, but then again, I'm not surprised. WotC would never do that. 5.5 was a compromise because they couldn't make 6. The new leader of WotC, or at least the Dungeons and Dragons part, has been making some bold moves recently. Like, he announced, like, hey, 5.5, we're going to call it that now. By the way, that launch was a disaster. By the way, it doesn't make any sense that as a company, we don't have any books really coming out for it that people are excited for. I see it happening soon. Oh, man. Anyways, wouldn't that make a lot of people angry? They just released 5.5. Maybe, but I think more people would be interested in what's changing versus like the very tiny changes they did in 5.5. All right, guys. We're going to call it. There's a lot to think about. I thought this would help my feelings for DC20 a little bit more. If anything, I'm a little more puzzled. I think I'm going to be looking at some other RPGs for my home game, possibly for a little while. Either that or just sticking with 9.5 until 11 comes out. We'll see. They're going to do crossovers like Magic the Gathering. God, I hope not. They were going to with the VTT. Optimus Prime was going to be in the game. Do with that information what you will. But thank you guys so much for doing this. I'll try to figure out what we talk about next Monday. Because if it's not DC20, I don't know. But you guys have a great end to your night.